Hello and welcome to Loppy Loves. If you haven't been here before, my name is Lauren and on this channel I talk about my life as an immigrant living in Iceland. So I've been getting more and more questions about life in Iceland over the last few months, and today I just wanted to do a video to answer some of those questions on a video. I have answered them all in the comments that reply to them, I hope. I hope I didn't miss anyone out, sorry if I did. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video in case someone else has the same question and this can answer the questions for them, instead of going on to each different video and like just reading the comments. So first of all, Victoria Waters asks, so glad I found your channel as I am dreaming of living there. Mainly attracted by the fact it's #1 safest country and the world is getting increasingly unsafe. However, I'd had doubts recently due to wondering about two things. Number one, the weather, i.e. there's not as much sunlight or daylight hours as the UK. Do you get depressed? And number two, when the sun never goes down, did you struggle to sleep or did it affect you negatively? I mean, those are good questions, and I also wondered the same things before I moved here. But to answer number one, in the winter, I wouldn't say I get depressed, I just get a lack of energy more. You are supposed to take vitamin D and also omega. I am really bad at remembering to take it here. I used to always take vitamin D all year, even in the summer, in the UK. And I would not forget here. Doesn't matter what I do, I always forget to take it. And maybe that is a side effect of the lack of sunlight here. But yeah, it's not that I get depressed, I just get more of a lack of energy. And for the second question, I have always had sleeping problems since childhood. I really worried about the midnight sun here, especially because I moved here in the summer just a few weeks before the midnight sun started. And I actually sleep better in the summer than I do in the winter here, strangely. I don't know why. I'm also scared of the dark, so I don't really use blackout curtains. I will sometimes use an eye mask, but I can't have a completely dark room because I'm scared of the dark. Yes, I actually sleep better, and I don't know why. This next question is from Sally McGee, and she says, it's fun to hear about different traditions. I first heard about laverbreath on British Bake Off. Do they have Christmas trees in Iceland? And yes, they do. Christmas trees are also something here. I don't know how long Christmas trees have been in Iceland, but I would guess it's similar to how long they've been in the UK. Yeah, but we do have Christmas trees. And everyone decorates a lot for Christmas. I would say a lot more than back in the UK, with all the lovely Christmas lights and things. Next, I have another question from Victoria Waters, and she says, don't think the prices of Iceland flight prices will be that low now due to the energy crisis. Have you noticed a difference? So the video that she commented that on was my first ever video on YouTube, which was about 4 years ago. So yeah, the prices have increased since then. But you can still get fairly cheap flights. At the moment, in fact, EasyJet have a sale on. EasyJet is always my favourite airline to fly with back to the UK. So you can still get cheap flights. I wouldn't say that they are as cheap as they used to be. That also might be because of the pandemic as well. You know, a lot of airlines probably still need to make their money back from that. But you can still get cheap flights. I don't remember what price I said in that video, but when I was looking recently, I think a few days ago, 4 flights to the UK that I can get in the sale. There were some flights for, I think, as cheap as €18 or £18 one way to the UK, and then it was maybe like £60 or £70 back. It's always more expensive for me to fly back to Iceland than it is to fly to the UK. I'm not sure why. But you can still definitely get some good deals. Next, I have a question from Corey. They ask, is your UK licence not valid in Iceland? I wonder why you had to take a test if you have a UK licence. I didn't have a UK licence. I only got my driving licence here in the summer, like 7 or 8 months ago. But since Brexit, the rules did change regarding British licences, so the people that were living here and had a UK licence had to exchange it for an Icelandic one, and there was a deadline for that, but I think the deadline did already get extended once. I'm not sure if it's being extended again, so I'm not sure what the validity at the moment is, but depending on where you're from, you will have to take a Icelandic driving test again, but I think most Americans do, but there are some states where I don't think you have to, and I think within Europe you can usually exchange your licence for an Icelandic one, but I'm not too sure of the rules because I never had to do it. I have another question from Corey. How long did it take you to learn Icelandic and to be able to have a conversation with an Icelander? I find that quite daunting. I also found it quite daunting. So I started to learn Icelandic through the Memrise app about 6 months before I moved here. I also used Icelandic online, and I tried to watch some Icelandic shows and just tried to listen to it as much as I could before I moved here. I did have a very short conversation on the plane as I was moving here, and that was literally just the man next to me asked me in Icelandic, "Are you an Icelandic girl?" because I had ordered water in Icelandic from the air hostess, and I replied, "No, I am an English girl." And then he asked me something else, and I had to ask him to switch to English. He was asking me if I'm on holiday or if I'm living in Iceland. Yeah, but to become good enough to start speaking, I was very shy. So I could understand more than I could speak for a long time, but after I had been in Iceland for about 6 months, I got a job in a coffee shop, and after maybe a month of being there, I had to start using Icelandic with some of the customers because they got very impatient with me, especially the regulars. So that was when I started to speak in Icelandic, and I ended up being at that coffee shop for 6 months working there, and by the end of it I could talk quite well with the customers. So to answer the question, it took about a year for me to be at an okay level. I mean, like quite basic still, but to be okay with speaking to people. So Come Into My World says, nice video, thank you. Being in the UK, I agree, daily walks is great. What's it like doing walks where you live in Iceland? Is it suburban or maybe something more interesting? So I live in Selfoss, which is the largest town in South Iceland, and it's growing quite a lot actually. So it depends. I can choose if I go for a walk whether I want to have a walk in the town, like a suburban walk, or if I want to go to the outskirts of Selfoss and kind of walk in a more rural area. But I think most of my walks here are in the town. And finally, Coo Daddy says, great video. How cold does it get, and what is a high temperature day in Iceland? So I just had a quick look so I can give you a proper answer. So in the south, the average winter temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, and in the north, the average is around minus 10 degrees Celsius. And in the summer, the average temperature is about 10 to 13 degrees Celsius in the south, and it doesn't actually have a temperature for the north in the summer. And it says warm summer days can reach 10 to 25 degrees, and that was on Wikipedia. But yeah, so recently this winter we've had some really cold days because of our extreme winter that we've had. But yeah, it's not that bad. It's not as cold as a lot of people think. It is a pretty mild climate here still, but I will say that the real field temperature, you know, with the wind, it feels a lot colder than what it actually is because of how cold the wind is. But really, I've found that the temperatures are not as extreme in the winter as a lot of people think. So that is it for today's video. It's just a short one today. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments because I would like to make more videos like this. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, And if you'd like to buy me a coffee, go and have a look at my coffee page. The link is in the description, but it is no pressure whatsoever. You know, I'm not expecting that. Yeah, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.